With the third chapter from your political science book of grade 12, and the name of the chapter is Forms of Government, Parliamentary and Presidential Form of Government. Today we are going to start with the presidential form of government from page number 64. Let's start. First we are going to understand what is the meaning of the term presidential form of government. From the name itself you can understand that presidential form of government means in this form of government the president is going to have the maximum power of the government. This is a system where the head of the state, the president, is also the head of the government and he is his own prime minister. So in presidential form of government we can say they are not having the prime minister. The president himself is the prime minister. The real executive powers during a fixed and defined tenure. So the tenure of the head of the state or the head of the government is fixed and they are having the fixed tenure. It is because of this fact, very strong position of the president, head of the state and the head of the government, that is called the presidential form of government. The cabinet has a vast executive and legislative power. So you can say the executive and the legislature, they are independent, and the president is neither the member of the executive, neither the member of the legislature. Here are some features that we need to understand, which is different from the parliamentary form of government. So what are the features of presidential form of government? Single unified executive, that is no difference between nominal executive and the real executive. So in other words we can say that the real head and the nominal head is the same person. Two different persons are not there. But in parliamentary form of government you will find that the real head and the nominal head are two different persons. Like for example in India we are having parliamentary form of government. Number 2 is separation of power between the legislature and executive. The member, if somebody is a member of the legislature, he or she cannot be the member of the executive. Okay, but in parliamentary form of government you will find that the person who is a member of the legislature, from there they are getting selected as the executives. But here the separation of power between the legislature and the executive can be seen. There are two different bodies and the members of the legislature are not the members of the executive, and the executive members cannot be the member of the legislature. The head of the state and government, that is the president, is not the member of the legislature. Okay, he is the head of the executive but he is not the member of the legislature. He is not accountable before the legislature, unlike the parliamentary form. In the presidential form, the executive and legislature are independent to each other. So you can see in the diagram given in the next page, right? So the government of the state, they are having three organs, as we are also having the parliamentary form of government. The organs are there, the legislature, the executive, the judiciary is there, but you can see they are separate from each other. Okay, so they are having a fixed tenure for the executive and the legislature. In the presidential form of government, the executive has a fixed and defined tenure before the expiry of which it cannot be removed or voted out of power of the legislature. The president has a fixed tenure and a stable future. He cannot be removed. Okay, he holds office for a definite and fixed period. In the presidential system of government, the legislature also has a defined tenure before expiry of which it cannot be dissolved by the executive. Hopefully you understand. So the maximum tenure you can say is for 5 years or 4 years. Maximum places we will find it is for 5 years. Cabinet works as the advisory body to the president, that is the head of the state. All the decisions, major decisions, minor decisions, everything is taken by the president. But there is a cabinet. The cabinet is selected by the president himself and he acts as the head of the cabinet, but the cabinet acts as a advisory body. Cabinet can only advise, cannot direct the president. Responsibility of the ministers towards president or head of the state. In the presidential system, the ministers are individually responsible to the president, who can remove them at will. So the president can remove anybody according to his will, with or without assigning any reason. If the president feels like removing somebody with a reason or without a reason, the president can do it. The president always acts in the ministers always act according, or you can say accordance with the decision of the directives of the principal, who is their real executive head. Okay, so they are abiding everything. Whatever the president is saying, the ministers are bound to follow everything. Political homogeneity of the cabinet is not essential. In the presidential system, the president has the right to appoint any person the head of any government department. He can appoint persons belonging to different political parties or men of eminence or to high offices, or you can say he has the right to freely choose and appoint his team of minister and the other high rank officers. He can choose anybody who is going to work for him. Next, we are having some states with presidential form of government. First of all, we cannot forget United States of America. USA is the most, I'll say, appropriate example for presidential form of government, because in the entire world it is considered that America's president is the most powerful president of the entire world. Other than that, few more names we need to memorize. So our list is given. Memorize according to your choice. Brazil is there, Maldives is there, Nigeria, Zimbabwe. You can learn any 4 to 5 examples from here. Okay, next we are having, there are presidential model of relationship between the legislature and executive. We have already discussed these points before, like incompatibility of the membership of the executive and the legislature. As I was explaining you that the members of the executive are not going to be the members of the legislature. Okay, this is the incompatibility they're explaining about. Non-responsibility of the executive towards the legislature. This also I have already explained to you. Okay, like for example, in USA, the president can influence the work of the Congress through messages and control the legislature by the exercise of his suspensory veto and pocket veto power. In fact, in the presidential model, our network of checks and balances characterizes the relationship between the legislature and the executive. Okay, stable and fixed tenure. Already I have told you they cannot get removed. Okay, next we are having few merits and demerits of the presidential form of government. So in the presidential form of government, we find a very stable government because they are having a fixed tenure for the executive and the legislature. We are having a very strong executive, okay, which is not forced to answer to the legislature. Next, we are having continuity of executive policies. Ministers are experts, more useful for the unity of nation. There are so many points here given. Demerits are also there. It also suffers from party politics. Okay, a single person, the president, enjoys a very powerful position. Then president can use his powers in an arbitrary way. He can become a dictator. Okay, then executive is irresponsible. Sometimes executive because irresponsible because the president acts according to his or her will. Okay, there are few demerits also. Now, before I end this video, there is a part, a mixture of parliamentary and presidential forms is possible. Is the mixture of the presidential and parliamentary form is possible? So we can say, despite the presidential and parliamentary form are having totally different kind of features, a form of government involving a mixture of the two forms can be adapted. this also can be adapted. In fact, it has been done by states like France and Switzerland. Okay, it has been done by France and Switzerland. Now, few of the political thinkers, I'll tell, they are trying to reflect that India is also having a mixed kind of a model. But though India is not mentioning it, India is mentioning itself as a parliamentary form of government. But few political thinkers are saying that, or few political scholars are trying to advocate that India, moreover, have to, they should make the constitutional change and write parliamentary come presidential model for the Indian system. But many of them have not accepted it, and we abide by saying that India is having parliamentary form of government. Okay, thank you.